Hey everybody, I just want to start this off with an apology for my live stream last night. Sorry, it did not come out great. I don't know what was the difference compared to my other live streams and watch parties I've done for, like, say, the Toy Story Fun Day. I don't know why they didn't come out crystal clear like that live stream. But yeah, I am working on it now for improvements, and it'll probably be a while before I do test another live stream. But I appreciate you all's patience, checking it out, informing me about how the video was, and all your feedback, as I am a one-man team doing all this, and from the scratch, with no experience or nothing like that in any of this at all. Streaming, setting up videos, creating videos, editing videos. But I'm learning, and I love the journey, and I appreciate y'all joining that journey with me. But yeah, so I'm doing a new video, just to do my game picks before the Thursday night pre-game happens on Prime, which is the Chicago Bears and the Washington Commanders, both coming off a loss and great shootouts. The Commanders lost to the Eagles 34-31 in overtime, and then Denver beat Chicago 31-28 at Chicago, so tough loss for them. Even though these teams both are not that great and are on the bottom of the standings, it should be a great shootout as they're both crawling or fighting for any win they can. If Chicago loses this one, they're probably going to be tanking for the rest of the year, as they'll have the number 1 overall pick because of their record, and the number 2 overall pick as of now based on the Carolina Panthers first round rookie pick that they traded them last year. So we'll see what happens tonight with that game and the results moving forward. Still a lot of season to go, but as of right now, it looks like Chicago is shooting for number 1. But yeah, I chose Washington in this game, and we'll see what happens. Now moving on, we have Jacksonville Jaguars versus the Buffalo Bills in London. It's actually considered a Buffalo Bills home game. Unfortunate for them. And Jacksonville's actually been up there since last week because of the Atlanta Falcons game they played in London. So they don't have to deal with any jet lag at the moment before this game. So I'm picking Jacksonville on that sole reason against Buffalo. And it will be a tough game. A lot of people will be shocked and probably pick Buffalo because they're definitely clearly the better team. I just think on other conditions, such as the jet lag and the comfortability that the Jacksonville Jaguars have in London, I'm going to go with them. It's actually a clear-cut advantage, and hopefully Jacksonville can capitalize on it. If they don't, the season's going to be a rough one for them the rest of the year, for sure, just like Chicago, even though they have a couple wins. Now moving on, we have New Orleans at New England. I picked New Orleans, even though I've been picking them and they keep losing. I'm still sticking to it. I believe in this team. I believe in Derek Carr. It's easy for me to say all that compared to the New England Patriots, where I don't believe in anything, especially Bill Belichick. He's the greatest of all time. Right now, he's making a lot of questionable decisions. And then the benching of Mac Jones last week in the third quarter and the blowout to Dallas, 38-3. A lot of chaos going on over that team. So I'm going to stick with New Orleans on this one, just for the fact that New England needs to get it together. Now moving on, we have Tennessee at Indianapolis. Key rivalry game right here. See who's the top of the AFC South. Whoever wins this game right here. And I'm picking Tennessee to win it. I believe Anthony Richardson is still taking his humps, even though he's looking fantastic out there compared to Bryce Young. I'm still sticking with Tennessee. I believe in their pass rush, Jeffrey Simmons, always. And they have great run D. Jonathan Taylor, we'll see if he comes back this game. He's activated off the PUP list. See if they ease him in there. Maybe they'll do the whole David Montgomery thing and just give him 32 rushes and every goal line carry there is and come out on top over 100 yards. We'll see. It's tough against Tennessee, though, for sure. But I'm picking Tennessee to win it. Now moving on, we got the rivalry game of the week. It's Baltimore at Pittsburgh. Even though Kenny Pickett's hurt, he's going to play. So it's good news for Pitt, so they actually can be competitive in this historic rivalry. And the win for whoever wins this will be at top of the division. I'm picking Baltimore to win it. I believe in Lamar Jackson more than Kenny Pickett at the moment, and he looks like an MVP form, especially him throwing to Mark Andrews with the multiple touchdown catches. I'm gonna go with Baltimore, even though the Steelers' defense looks way better than Baltimore at the moment. That offense for the Ravens looks better than the Steelers. But I'll say this: the Ravens don't have much of a run game outside Lamar. The Steelers have a run game with Warren and Najee Harris, but just the passing game is tough to watch. But we'll see if it gets better. We'll see if Matt Canada, the offensive coordinator for Pittsburgh, dials it up before all the fans oust him out of that job. But yeah, moving on, we have Carolina at Detroit. My favorite game, my key game I'm excited about. I'm picking Detroit Lions to win. They beat us last year. They had a number last year. They ran all over us. They have a whole different coaching staff and everything like that. We have a way better team than we did prior. And they're taking their lumps and humps with Bryce Young in his development year. And so far, of all the rookie quarterbacks, he's having the hardest transition. Hopefully, that transition continues against us, the Detroit Lions. So, yeah, I'm picking us to win. And Kirby Joseph will be back. So, that's a key injury for us and his return. Hoping that he balls out like he normally does. Now, my favorite player as well. Now, moving on. We have Houston at Atlanta. Atlanta's coming back from London. I think they're going to have a little bit of jet lag, so I picked Houston. Also, Houston's looking hot with C.J. Stroud out of all the rookie quarterbacks, having the easiest transition in the NFL. He's been feeding it to Nico Collins and Tank Dell, making those receivers look already amazingly elite. So, yeah, I'm picking Houston. I think Atlanta, it's going to be a tough recipe for them to stop. Bijan Robinson, D'Amico Ryans, he knows how to stop the run. And Bijan's going to have his key plays, but if they just keep feeding it to him and Algier and throw a couple plays at Drake London, the Houston's defense can handle that. So, yeah, I'm picking Houston. Now, for our last 1 o'clock game, we have the New York Giants at the Miami Dolphins. I'm picking Miami Dolphins to win, even though they lost last week, and I was wrong on that. I believe they'll beat the Giants. So far, the Giants, after being blown out by Seattle Seahawks at their home on Monday night, short week, as it was 24-3. It's tough for me to pick them. I didn't see much out there on offense, especially since Seattle got, I believe, 11 sacks. So look for Miami's defensive line and pass rush and defense as a whole to rack up their sack numbers to look better. So, yeah, I'm picking Miami. If Miami loses, that's pretty bad. Then the Giants are on the up, and Miami's definitely on a huge question mark, but I don't believe that's going to happen. I think Miami's got their number, and won't be close. I feel bad for the New York Giants. I wonder what they're going to do to recover. But we'll see. It sucks all the New York teams suck other than Buffalo. Yeah, so all you New York fans, at least you got one team to root for. So now moving on. Hopefully they don't say that about us Floridian fans. Yeah, moving on. We have Cincinnati at Arizona Cardinals. I chose Arizona Cardinals. Cincinnati is not looking great. T. Higgins is banged up. Joe Burrow's banged up. Arizona, even though they don't have Kyle Murray, have been competitive and have been fighting. I'm picking Arizona to win this. I believe Marquise Brown is actually going to have a great game. James Conner is going to be hard to stop. And it should be tight. Honestly, it should be tight. Tighter than usual. But, yeah, Cincinnati, tough loss to Arizona. That's my guess. So now moving on, we have Philadelphia at LA Rams. This was my hardest choice of the week. I've been picking against Philadelphia Eagles every week. So I'm going to pick with them this week. I guess this is when they actually lose their undefeated streak. But the Rams, I think, is the toughest opponent they've had all year, other than the Washington Commanders rivalry game they just came off of win. But, yeah, I pick Philadelphia to win. Even though the Rams have Stafford, he's literally like a couple hits and he's out. And that O-line is not great. But Cooper Kupp was just activated for PUP. Puka Nakuna's having an amazing rookie year. I don't want to take that all away from them, but I'm going to still stick with Philadelphia as they look hard to stop and have not been stopped. Now moving on, we have the New York Jets at Denver Broncos. This is going to be a tough game to watch unless you're a fan for both either of the teams. But I'm picking the New York Jets on this just because I believe their defense is dramatically better than Denver, and I believe the Jets are actually going to be the toughest competitions Denver's faced all year, even though they faced the Dolphins. This defense is on a different level. I think Denver is going to struggle. If they don't, and they actually it becomes a shootout game, that's really bad on the Jets. If Denver wins, it's going to be bad on the Jets. It's going to be all right. They're on the same boat as the Bears, even though they're trying to hype up the Aaron Rodgers potential news that he can come back this year, which would be a miracle. And if he does, hopefully the team is even in playoff contention. As of right now, they are not dramatically. Even to get to 500 should be tough for the Jets. But I'm going to pick Jets. It starts now for them to try to get there. So I'm going to pick the Jets over Denver. I believe Breece Hall will have a great game coming out. I know he's been struggling. But they're going to have to feed him a little more to actually get the Zach Wilson and the play action to make it easier for him. Not to get too caught up in that. Let's move on to Kansas City at Minnesota is the last set of our 4 o'clock games. I'm picking Kansas City over Minnesota. I'd be shocked if Minnesota wins. Minnesota could win this, but if they do, I'd be very shocked at Kansas City. But usually Kansas City starts slow, but as of right now, the only time they started slow was against the Lions. But the rest of the teams they've beaten with ease. So we'll see what's up. But I'm gonna pick Kansas City Chiefs, Minnesota. Kirk Cousins will put up a fight on that offense. That defense is harder to watch. And we'll see. And if Minnesota loses this, more fuel for the Kirk Cousins trade rumors to the Jets or anybody that wants him with that amazing fully guaranteed contract his last year. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. But I believe Kansas City will win, and those rumors will get more inflamed. Now, for our Sunday night game, we actually have an amazing Sunday night game. Dallas at San Francisco. Historic rivalry, even though they're not in the same division. They're in the same conference. They've met each other many times in the postseason. I'm picking San Francisco to win. I think it's going to be a very tough game. I think this is their toughest competition they went up against. And I think they are going to get a wake-up call that you can't just play games with a lead the whole time and your defense can capitalize. No, this is going to be a back and forth. Hopefully. I'm hoping for a competitive game no matter what. And this is going to be the toughest game for San Fran as well. They haven't played against competition like this. They just came off a win over Arizona Cardinals. It was great, and the Giants. What that, you know. So they've had a easy run so far, but this is their toughest competition, and we'll see what's up. This is what both teams needed to actually evaluate how good each team is. So I'm happy that they're having it this time of year. Now moving on for the Monday night game, we have the Green Bay Packers at Las Vegas Raiders. I picked the Green Bay Packers as even though they came from a loss at home to us, they had a little extra longer week than the Las Vegas Raiders to prepare. So hopefully they actually capitalize on that. But the Raiders should put up a fight on offense. We'll see if Jimmy Garoppolo comes back. Even not, Aiden O'Connell was doing pretty all right. But Josh Jacobs, hopefully they unleash him. But with all that said, I still believe Green Bay will win. I think Aaron Jones is going to have a great day. I think Christian Watson will have more catches. He'll be eased in the offense more than he was in the previous game. And he had a touchdown still. So they were still looking at him. And Romeo Doubs has been very efficient. So yeah, I'm going to go Green Bay. And I believe Jair Alexander will come back, so hopefully he can slow down Devontae Adams. And if they slow Devontae Adams down and they focus on Jacoby Myers, it's going to be a hard day for the Raiders. But, well, you know, we'll see what happens. But yeah, that is all my NFL Week 5 game picks to you today, this morning. As I'm shooting this video, I usually do live, and I did do live yesterday. It was a terrible stream, so I'm just doing a whole new video for you all to see, so you can see it all without any lag, hopefully. But I appreciate y'all checking this out, checking my channel, Dave and Sports Convo, and stay tuned as I do new future content, doing fantasy help Sundays. Look out for it Sunday mornings on my channel as I do stardom and situms. Hopefully it helps you and your fantasy team out. Yeah, so that's a new segment I'm adding. And always check out my podcast every week. Tuesdays mornings. Check it out. As I do my power ranking updated, as I break down all 32 NFL teams and where they stand. And I also go over the previous week's set of games to actually help mold my power rankings. So an in-depth conversation of all 32 teams where you're not going to get from any mainstream media other than right here on my channel. But yeah. Thank you all for checking me out. It's your host, David, and I appreciate all your guys' time. Stay tuned, check out, and always keep an eye out for the improvements. And I appreciate everybody's feedback. Thank you all so much again for tuning in and checking me out. Thank you.